Greetings YouTube, welcome to the latest bargain video. Some of the stuff in this video are going to be Christmas gifts and some are going to be things I picked up with Christmas money, and they are also, there's some overlap that they're between Christmas money being spent on things that were actual bargains in and of themselves. For example, the Dungeons & Dragons Art and Arcana, a visual history. I picked this up for 35 bucks and I used Christmas money, so it effectively cost me nothing. The H.P. Lovecraft drawing book, learned how to draw strange scenes of otherworldly horror. Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, that was a bargain, and from Christmas money. Steampunk Soldiers, Uniforms and Weapons from the Age of Steam, that was a gift. We have 3 volumes of Penny Arcade, 2, 3, and 4. Those were overlap, both money from Christmas and bargains. The Laundry, which is a role-playing game based on the Laundry Files novels by Charles Stross. Never read the novels, heard good things about the game. Picked it up for 20 bucks and I used some of my Christmas money. Starfinder Alien Archive 2, that was a gift. Beyonder, The Science of the Six. That was, again, overlap between Christmas money and a bargain. And then we have Fading Suns, the D20 version for 7 bucks, and that was just a bargain. On to more literature of some variety or other. We have Eric Metcalf's The Foundation, A World in Black and White, a D20 game of superheroics. I still think that Mutants and Mastermind is probably the best D20 superheroes game ever invented, but for 2 bucks I thought I'd give that a try. Humble Homes, Simple Shacks, Cozy Cottages, Ramshackle Retreats, Funky Forts by Derek Dickerson, who is a fellow YouTuber. Tank Girl, I picked that up for like 13 cents at a buy at the pound place. Disney's Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, 100 images to inspire creativity. That's for my wife. We got that at a thrift shop. Garbage Land on the Secret Trail of Trash. 90 Years at the Isles of Shoals. That's for my wife. I Am an American, What Every American Should Know. Pick that up at a thrift. They were a estate sale or something, but it was really cheap. Then we have Heroes and Villains, essays on music, movies, comics, and culture. Kids Go, which is from They Might Be Giants. That's for my wife. Men's Work, How to Stop the Violence That Tears Our Lives Apart. About toxic masculinity. This is a Kindle. My wife has been wanting to try a e-reader of some variety, and we found this one at an estate sale for 10 bucks, and it works. So she's been enjoying it, and so we may, upgrade at some point in the future to a more recent edition. But in the meantime, for $10, she had a chance to dip her toe in this particular technological arena, and so far she has been enjoying it. And then we have a map of Boston and surroundings printed in 1953. So that should be fun to take a look at. See how the city has changed. And I picked that up for like $1 from an estate sale. Okay, on to digital media, or more digital media, because that right there is digital media. I missed one. This was something my wife bought with some of her Christmas money, the 30th edition of the White Mountain Guide, which comes with a book and maps. We have the 35th Mystery Science Theater 3000 collection, and they were suitably awful. The top one right there, Teenage Caveman, is a true atrocity. We have the Lego Batman, which was very entertaining. We have Muppets Wizard of Oz, which we haven't watched yet. Hoops and Yo-Yo Ruin Christmas, with my wife wanted because she loves Christmas stuff. We have Dinosaurs in the collector's edition. Push on Blu-ray, which is an upgrade from our DVD because I wanted to listen to the commentary track, which is by Dakota Fanning, Chris Evans, and the director, so it's quite good. Lilo and Stitch, my wife had never seen it. It was cute. I quite liked it. Then we have Truman Capote's A Christmas Memory, The Thanksgiving Visitor. My wife has always had to hunt this down on YouTube or something to watch. Her brother sent this to her, so now she has her own version. We have an exercise video for my wife. And we have JCVD, which is a film I've heard good things about, but I've never seen it. And this is a Blockbuster Edition exclusive. Then we have some Christmas music. We have Christmas with the Rat Pack. We have a very special Christmas, The Christmas Tree, a collection of enchanting music box melodies. The Canadian Brass Noel, the music of a Victorian Christmas. John Denver's The Muppets, and we got all of this stuff for $1 a piece at a estate sale, as well as a 4 CD set of Barbra Streisand for $2, which has been already given away to someone. I picked up a Swiss Tech Microlight smartphone stand to see how well it works in either regard. My wife got this wild card wallet knife for me, which has got a folding knife which can actually be taken off. So you can take the rest of the card with you on a plane. We have an octopus vase. It's a tourist piece, but it's kind of cool. And my wife has an affection for cephalopods. Now, this bright, shiny brass thing, it's very large. I mean, that's a big piece of metal. It weighs 1.55 kilograms, so it is not light. This is a chain link from the anchor chain of a World War II mine-sweeping ship. They needed to have the ship not have a magnetic signature, because you didn't want a magnetic signature when you're looking for mines. So this is what the anchor chain was used. And it's not cheap. I saw it in a catalog. I thought, that's really cool, but I can't justify buying it. Then my wife went and bought it for me. It is very cool and shiny and is awesome, and would make the world's heaviest brass knuckle. We have a wooden bead bracelet, which my wife is going to have to shorten up to fit on her wrists. She has extraordinarily narrow wrists because she wants to have a beaded bracelet, because she normally wears beaded bracelets, but one that she can beat up on when she's doing camp things and not have to worry about it. For $2, that's what she's got. And then I've got this. This is a wooden foot. There's no markings on it. And here's the strange thing. I bought this at a thrift shop. I mean, it's an ashtray. I don't do ashtrays, but it was just too strange. And then, as of the recording of today, I was at another antique shop, and there was a pair of these. Slightly smaller scale. They were candlesticks, but they had the toes in exactly the same orientation. I got no idea why there are wooden feet out there like this. Anybody can tell me. I would really love to know. Okay, on to some ephemera and tools, I think. This is a creamer and sugar container with this pattern on it, which is a pattern that my wife truly loves, and she has been slowly collecting it over the years, so that helps further her collection. This is an aluminum squirrel, which just made me smile. It almost looks incidental in its shape. It really does. But it's cool looking, and it was $1, so I picked it up for fun. The tortoise lies on its back, baking in the sun. But you don't turn it over. Why is that, Leroy, sorry. Or no, Leon. This is a tortoise. It's just a Chinese knockoff tortoise, but it's very realistic. 1-to-1 scale for a small infant adolescent tortoise. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'll probably do a review on it, and I'll probably give it away as a gift. We have a knife sharpening set, which apparently was never, ever opened, and this came from Bulb Head. So I thought I'd give it a try, see if it's worth anything. It's the Bavarian Edge, that very masculine eagle. So $4, thought I'd try that. We have a 40-ounce hydro flask. If anybody knows anything about flasks and mugs for, coffee mugs, Hydro Flask is one of the best names there is. This is normally like a $40 flask or more, I think, maybe even more than that. 28, maybe 40. This maybe it was worth more than that. I paid $1 for that. It looks like it was never used. We have a 6-shooter Nerf gun. This is a manual. You have to ratchet it after each shot. Now, I actually had an exact copy of this, but it was in the yellow plastic. I'm donated that. And I'm keeping this one just because it's cool, because I can watch the mechanisms work. And I picked this up, but I bought it by the pound place for I probably spent 40 cents on it. And then we have a set of bells, which my wife wanted. It has little symbols on there so you can know which ones to hit. This came with a hammer originally. Well, we paid $2 for this at a Goodwill, and she's actually found a musical guide for it online, so that's kind of cool. And I struck it with this strange looking hammer. I have no idea what this is for. I picked it up at an estate sale. I thought it was cool. As well as this, which is probably originally supposed to be an ice pick, but I'm going to use it as an awl. I'm going to brighten up that point a bit and use it as an awl. I just like the feel of it. It's very comfortable. I quite liked it. Then we have this large bore. This wood definitely needs to be, sanded up a little and refurnished with something, just oil of some variety. This needs to be cleaned up, and don't think I can really do anything for that point, but I could be able to sharpen this and actually turn it back into a functioning bore. Mostly I'm just going to probably hang it on a wall. Pardon me. And I picked it up for $3 at an estate sale. It's just very cool. And speaking of old tools, this is a tool designed for shaping blocks of ice after you've harvested the blocks from a lake. Ice harvesting was a thing at one time. If you've seen the movie Frozen, they're ice harvesting in that film. And they use very large saws, which I don't own yet. They used special axes, which I don't own yet, but they used this, which I do own, as well as special poled hooks for moving ice blocks, and I have 2 of those. Both one which is extent from shaft all the way to tip, and one which I just got the head, and I mounted that myself on a shaft. This one would have been much longer, and probably another 15, 18 inches, and had a T handle like a shovel on the end. I don't know why this person cut it off. Maybe the handle broke and they just like to use it as a smaller thing. You could still use this to shape ice if you were doing ice sculpting, or at least the rough stuff. But I thought it was very cool, and it's in excellent condition. It's still got the red paint on it. These tips are really in nice shape. There's very tiny burrs on the bottom, but it's insignificant. But it's really nice. I'm not going to replace this just because that's the original handle, and I couldn't bring myself to do that. It's just too darn pretty. And then we have this, which is an IKEA. What is this thing? A Grunthal. I'm probably butchering that, but this is an IKEA towel rack, and I'm going to mount it vertically in my closet and use it for storing rolls of tape, duct tape, painter's tape, stuff like that, which will be very much more efficient than what I'm currently doing, which is hanging them on a rope, hanging on a hook in there. So I have 2 things to remove before I can get to my tape. Now I'll just have to move the tape on and off, obviously keeping the duct tape near the top, because that's the one I use the most. Next in line being the painter's tape. Very handy stuff, painter's tape. You can clamp with it, you can mark with it, you can mask with it. Painter's tape is awesome. So, this has been the latest bargain video. Hope you have enjoyed it. I know I have enjoyed hunting down and finding the items, and I'm sure that Leon will forgive me for butchering his name.